Alright, hope you're having yourself a beautiful Wednesday evening. Hello and welcome to Breaking Today. My name is Nick Mudimba. Our San language interpreter is Mr. Isia Washira. Let's now look at the headlines we have for you tonight. Armed gunmen attack a Nairobi-bound bus near Cuba area in Mandera, North Sub-County. No need of non-local teachers. We can do the job, youths in Mandera tell the government. In sports, Harambee Starlets squad for the Turkish Women's Cup released. All right, now we give you the breaking news. It actually happened in the morning, but still, let's kick off with the bus attack that's happened in Mandera. But of course, that story that we'll be following up, Safi Gurana Mamo is working on that. Those are a morning bus attack, but again, that update will be coming for you in a few. But a number of youth in Mandera County now say that there's no need for Teachers Service Commission to resend the over 800 local teachers who fled the county over what they termed as increasingly worrying state of insecurity that led to some teachers being killed in cold blood by Alshabaab militia. They would say that it's time that the authorities give them a chance to hundreds of bright and employed young people to fill the gap and serve the community through education.
So we as the youth of Mandera, we want to encourage people from Mandera to fill that gap. And how are we going to fill that gap? We have we have so many graduates who are jobless in the region. We have bright Form 4 leavers who are jobless. They can comfortably fill the gap left by the teachers. So we encourage the stakeholders, the administrators of the public schools and the private to employ our Form 4 leavers and the graduates who have no jobs in the region.
The others who have and have done the teaching courses, but they are not employed. I don't know the reason why they are non-locals who are given the first priority and then they pull out at the last point. Thirdly, I will ask the community to cooperate with the security personnel whenever it is problems coming with insecurity.
Mimi yangu ni kuomba wale ambao wafanyikazi wa serikali, sisi wenyewe tuweze kuwa na ile kiroho ya kusaidia wale wanafunzi ambao sisi wenyewe tunafunza. Hiyo ni jukumu na ni wito kutoka kwa Mungu. Kama kuna tatizo, tuko hapa kama county security team kuhakikisha kwamba tunasuluhisha. Kwa hivyo mimi yangu ni kuomba walimu wote mahali popote wako katika kaunti ya Mandera kwamba tutasaidiana. Kama unasikia uko na threat ama unasikia kuna mtu amekutisha, polisi wako, ofisi zetu siko wasi. Na hiyo ndio jambo ambayo ningetusaidia sana. Umesikia ule ambaye anasimamia walimu wale wa private sector, hakuna hata mmoja ametoka. So hii mambo ya kusema kwamba walimu wale wanafanya wa TSC peke yao ndio wanatafutwa, sio ukweli. Sisi wote tuko hapa na tuko imara.
Now, armed gunmen on Wednesday morning attacked a Nairobi-bound bus near Cuba area in Mandera Sub-County, now killing 3 occupants on the spot. The 11 a.m. incident was confirmed by the Northeastern Regional Commissioner, Nick Ndalana, as our reporter Safi Gurana now reports.
A Moyale Raha bus heading to Nairobi from Mandera was today morning attacked by suspected Alshabaab militants at around 11 a.m. The bus that was carrying more than 60 people was sprayed with bullets indiscriminately by a group of gunmen before they forced the driver to stop by deflating all the tires.
Tukiongea saa hii serikali already imechukua hatua kwamba tumetuma vikosi vya kutosha vya usalama katika sehemu hiyo ili kuweza kuwawinda hao majangili ambao hatujui nia yao ni nini. Kwa hivyo yangu ni kuomba wananchi wale watukufu kwamba kisa kama hivi ni kisa ambacho hatujashuhudia kwa muda, lakini kwa bahati mbaya imefanyika leo. Ningependa tu kuomba kwamba tushirikiane na wale ambao wako na habari waweze kutupasha polisi ili tuweze kufuata hao majangili na kuwapata na kuwaadhibu.
While confirming the incident, Mandera County Commissioner Onesmus Chatha said that the driver of the bus had earlier refused to heed to the militia's command of stopping the bus, and that is when they decided to follow the vehicle using motorbikes and later executed the atrocity on the 3 innocent souls who died on the spot, while about 6 others sustained serious wounds. According to the county commissioner, police officers from the nearby Banisa police post, stationed just some 10 kilometers from where the incident occurred, responded immediately. Owing to the constant insecurity threats in the area, such public vehicles are normally given escorts in terms of security. This particular bus, however, was without any security.
I want to issue stern instructions or firm instructions to my people on the ground, security officers on the ground, that from today, no bus is going to move in those areas that are supposed to be, buses are supposed to be escorted. No bus will be allowed to move without escort.
The Mandera-Moyale-Nairobi route is deemed safer than the Mandera-Wajir road, where dozens have been killed in the past by militias. Safi Godanamamo, Switch TV.
Now moving on, the Boda Boda Association of Kenya is demanding a thorough investigation into the murder of a Boda Boda operator who was fatally shot yesterday at the Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital over quarrel in paying the hospital's parking fee. Now this comes as the latest of the rising police brutality cases that continue to taint the force's image. Martin Opio now with the report.
A demand for an unofficial 50 shillings parking fee by security guards at Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital led to the fatal shooting of a Boda Boda rider who had volunteered to take a sick child to the hospital yesterday. This not being the first time that the police have been caught red-handed with extrajudicial killing cases, with the latest in the public domain being the point-blank shooting and killing of 4 Kasarani residents last month while demonstrating for better roads. The Boda Boda Association of Kenya is now calling upon IPOA to undertake an independent, impartial and fair investigations into the matter.
Nairobi County tuko na motorbike 42,000. 42,000 tunachukuliwa ni kama kitu ambacho hakiko, but tuko. Na naomba tu bodaboda wenzangu mutulie mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Wakati nitasema sasa imeshindikana, we shall come. But for now, be cool.
Global human rights watchdog the Amnesty International is also calling upon relevant authorities to probe and arrest officers involved in the incident.
We remind the National Police Service that the legitimate use of force and firearms for law enforcement has to be legal. It has also to be accountable and necessary and proportionate.
The Boda Boda Association Secretary General has, however, pleaded for calm as police investigate the incident, failure to which they will call for a mass action.
Sisi we are law-abiding citizen, hatutavunja mali ya mtu, hatutafanya ubaya wowote, lakini tunataka sheria ifuatwe mpaka mwisho. Na kwa sababu sisi tunapenda pia maandamano. Maandamano tumesema it will be the last resort. Lakini for now, we are giving the state agencies to do what they can do, which is okay. Mpaka hii kesi ikuwe addressed, ndio tuweze kufurahia.
The association is also calling upon its members to be treated with respect in their line of business, being a transport subsector which is dominated by a majorly youthful population of males with family obligations and responsibilities.
This is a job like any other and more better than many jobs in Kenya on income. We just request for respect from the public and government officers who look at us like third-class people.
Nairobi Regional Police Commander Philip Ndolo confirmed yesterday that the officer had been disarmed and detained at Kayole Police Station as a matter of procedure pending investigation. Martin Opio, Switch TV.
Now, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has today submitted a proposal to the BBA task force team. The party, through the proposal, has recommended that a task force should be formed to look into the economy and correct what's ailing the economy.
How As the validation exercise of the BBI report enters its fourth day, more proposals continue to be received by the steering committee with a view to improve the current report that was released late last year. Today, Wiper Party, through its proposal, have recommended that in order to deal with economic revolution, certain drastic measures need to be taken.
So we need to build confidence at every level. And if our comparative advantage is in strengthening the community in accordance with your report, then we need practical measures.
Kotu, through their presentation, recommended that they should be given more mandate in line with the Ministry of Labour so as to strengthen and focus the needs of workers.
We have talked about the issue of amendment of laws. We have recommended that the issue of amending of the labour laws particularly should be left to the National Labour Board as opposed to the current idea where members of parliament would want to amend certain laws for their own interest. We have also supported those who think that there should be the issues of inclusivity. We have talked about particularly on the issues of governance.
Other groups that presented their proposal have insisted for the need of the task force to come up with ways of improving the lifestyle of youths by creating jobs.
Youth should be more proactive and not look at the positions aspect of it, but rather like the solutions to maybe social and economic problems. They should feel like, let's go and give our views. What ails us?
The BBI task force is hoping to ensure that the ongoing national conversation is respectful, uniting and focused on the well-being of all Kenyans. Kitsi Lale, Switch TV.
Now, the High Court has suspended Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's order to deport 4 Chinese nationals accused of killing a Kenyan worker at a Nairobi restaurant. Now, the decision was given by Justice Luka Kimaru today. Dr. Matiang'i's directive, issued last week just after Milimani Principal Magistrate Helen Okwani had allowed police to detain the 4 for 15 days to investigate assault and immigration offences. This is after the 4 suspects filed an application challenging the deportation order. The court also gave the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, or DPP, more time to file responses by Friday this week. The matter was then certified as urgent, and the court directed that the case be heard inter partes on February 25th. Now, the case was said to be mentioned on March 4th. However, CS Matiang'i signed the deportation order just hours after a Nairobi court allowed police to detain the 4 for 15 days pending conclusion of the investigations. Now, Facebook, in partnership with Watoto Watch Network, hosted the Facebook for Safer Internet Forum, demonstrate how the company and its family of apps are committed to online safety. The Facebook for Safer Internet Forum brought together young people, safety experts, influencers and parents to discuss the online child safety and explore ways to better understand the challenges and opportunities that children and young people face online. The forum actually follows the year's Safer Internet Day that aimed to unite people globally to inspire and raise awareness on online safety for children and young people under the theme. According to Facebook's head of public policy, Marcin Degwa, they're working with partners to drive awareness about practices, resources and tools people can use to protect their online well-being.
Say A is right or B is. So self-assessment would be important, but also I would say lean on the resources that we have.
Some people who actually say that being on social media contributes positively to their well-being. I think you had kind of talked a little bit about that, but maybe you could expand on.
I could say that
I would say that parents should not be scared of their kids using social media, but there should be times that you can actually interact with the kids. Sit with them, let them show you exactly what they post on social media, have interactions to know exactly what is their everyday life. There's some things they will be doing, or there's some things they'll be sharing they will not want you to do to actually see. But the thing is, there are very simple regulatory processes you can take. A typical example, if you Google Family Link, it's a simple program that can allow you to be able to watch what your children go to, the links they go to before they actually get to bad websites.
The way we ensure safety on Facebook, or rather on the Facebook platforms, is one, to make sure that we have proper rules that tell you how to conduct yourself when you're online on our platforms. We call them the community standards. Now, our community standards are like the rule book of how to behave when you're online.
Right, so now taking a short break right in breaking today. When you come back now, the updates on the coronavirus all coming to you shortly. And of course, also known as COVID-19. And in studio, it's actually a pleasure to be joined by the CGTN team. That is Douglas Okwach, who's the Talk Africa editor. And of course, in Studio B, our very own Benedetta Cherotich will be with us to give us all the facts and figures going around concerning the COVID-19. All are coming to you after a short break. All right, welcome back to Breaking Today. Now, a Chinese national who arrived in the country on February 10th has reportedly quarantined himself at his home in Nakuru. The county government of Nakuru, through Health CEC, Dr. Gishuki Kariuki, confirmed that they had received information about the man from concerned neighbors. Health officials from the county have since promised to make routine visits to the man's home for the duration of the quarantine. The Chinese man, who is married to a Kenyan woman, who was on a flight direct from China. He quarantined himself immediately he got home and has had minimal contact with his Kenyan family. This comes even as Chinese national is currently under isolation at the Mutomo Hospital in Kitui. He was among 18 other Chinese workers who jetted into the country over the weekend for work. The global death toll from the COVID-19 now stands at 2012, 75,282 infected and 15,084 treated and healed. The Ministry of Health on Wednesday said the suspected cases in Kenya, which had been reported in Mutomo, Kitui and Kilimani, Nairobi, did not meet the World Health Organization case definition criteria.
He arrived from China on 10th February, that is 9 days ago, at 11:30 p.m. And he was driven from Nairobi in an Uber, whose contacts of the driver and the number plates we have. And we visited him yesterday in his place. The county government of Nakuru has stocked on PPEs and thermogans, and therefore our health staff visited him well dressed, and they interviewed him and examined him. First and foremost, he does not have any signs and symptoms, and therefore his condition does not meet the standard case definition for coronavirus infection. He was screened at JKIA and released because he didn't have any problem. When he came to his home, he self-quarantined himself in his servant quarter. He is married to a Kenyan, and they have 2 children, one aged 5 and another one aged 1. And the spouse and the children are in good condition. And the man in question, who is a Chinese, is also in good health. So we promise to visit him daily, and we will be giving information to everyone who deserves to get. Obviously, we shall not disclose the identities of our clients.
All right, it's been a panic situation for quite some time here in the country, all over the world, and the coronavirus thing, and of course the virus itself, also now known as COVID-19, has been something that indeed no one can miss to mention. And in studio, I'm actually proud to be joined by Douglas Okwach from CGTN. He's a Talk Africa editor, to give us now what's happening on the ground in China and of course in some other areas here in the continent. Good to see you, Bwana Douglas, today.
Thank you, Nick.
All right.
It's my pleasure.
Okay. So let's quickly go into the thick of things, because now when you talk about these updates, every day is a new day as far as the virus is concerned. And so many fears, especially in the continent, is coming through. But look, we had a case in Egypt. How was it handled, first of all?
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. I think this is a very important topic that we need to thrash out. Mm-hmm. I think there should be no need for panic. I think panic comes about because of widespread misinformation. Okay. And as like yourself has already stated, there hasn't been so far, and I repeat so far, okay, on the African continent, a confirmed case of coronavirus. Okay. Initially, the situation might have looked a little bit dicey. Okay. Because at the beginning, only 2 African countries had the capacity to test, to screen for the virus, all right, which was Senegal and South Africa. And you remember even the Kenyan case, the samples were actually taken to South Africa.
Okay.
And they turned out negative. I think the situation is getting better. Okay. And now, apart from South Africa, other African countries like Ghana, Madagascar, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone have joined the pack of African countries that now have the capacity to screen for the virus. Absolutely. And I think within a short time, there'll be about 36 African countries. That's more than half the number of countries on the continent. So that should be reassuring for us enough. Regarding what has happened on the China end of things, I think it's not enough to say how much China has done. I think China's response was timely. It was on a very, very large scale. Unprecedented, and it's received all-round praise, including from the World Health Organization. The international community generally has been pleased with how China has handled the situation. And as we talk now, I think there's already a report done by China's own Center for Disease Control, and which it has shared with the WHO. And on the basis of that report, the WHO says it will not revise the risk status of coronavirus globally. So that should be reassuring enough. I think a lot is being done on the Chinese side. And the statistics, like we say, keep changing. But what we are noticing more now is a downward trend of infection rates, of deaths. So if it had spiked, I think we are now beginning to see it climbing down.
All right. Yes. So let's join our very own Bernadette Cherotich on the other side of the studio. And Bernadette, when we talk about statistics and also saying every day is a new day, I'm very sure you've done your groundwork. And maybe what's happening in terms of the figures right here?
Now, of course, according to data given by Johns Hopkins University, globally it stands at 75,000 people who are infected. 15,000 of those have been fully recovered. There are over 2,000 fatalities. In the medical sector, 500 healthcare workers in Wuhan have been infected by the virus, with another 600 suspected cases. Meaning this is something that we also have to look after. 500 over 600, this means in a day or two it could be over 1,000 medics affected. And the seriousness of this should be taken into consideration, because the vulnerability of the medics will of course in turn show how we're going to curb this virus.
Absolutely.
Here in Kenya, we have, I can now confirm that we are able to test. We're in a position to test for the virus.
Which is a good thing, actually.
This is a very good thing. This comes, of course, with the setup of 2 laboratories by the National Influenza Center. Now, there was a lot of panic, as you said, in Mutumo and Kitui County as a whole, when we had 1 suspected case. But we can confirm from a doctor and also the Ministry of Health that the case was negative, and also the case in Nakuru, as you have reported, is negative.
All right. Thank you very much, Cherotich. But looking back to China as a nation, the economy is kind of shaky right now. And when you talk about even some companies in Japan having had to close down because most of their main spare parts coming from China, how is the recovery tactic here?
I think China is doing a lot to turn around, to put in a reverse gear the general slowing down trend caused by the coronavirus. But what we are seeing is that China is trying to implement a lot of measures that are business friendly. For example, we are seeing tax cuts. We are seeing rebates. We are seeing low interest loan rates. And we are seeing insurance claims of companies that were affected by the coronavirus being fast-tracked for payment. And we are seeing also China injecting up to $1.7 trillion yuan into the financial markets to give it a kick. We are seeing China reducing the bureaucracy for businesses. We are seeing China giving priority to enterprises and companies that make medical kits, that import agricultural products. So a lot is being done in China, as you've heard, to kickstart the economy. And there's a vote of confidence issued by big companies, like Hyundai has just started resumed manufacturing,
but not fully.
Not fully, of course. It's a bit slow, but it will catch up. Not fully, but it's
all right.
Yeah.
So my last question in this, because also the Kenyan students and Kenyan maybe workers who are in China, I understand that the capacity in the country is not all that ready to handle these things. But why do you think some governments are adamant to take the people back to their home countries? Just a quick one before you wind up.
Well, I think that decision is an individual country decision. Countries like the US that have the capacity and the confidence in themselves in terms of repatriating their people. We see the US repatriating people even in war.
Yes.
So even in disease situation. I think these are individual country decisions based on those countries' own assessment of their abilities to fly back their own citizens and keep them safe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for actually coming to the studio. Tomorrow, we're actually having a very, very brand new show by the name Tipping Point. So we'll still need him tomorrow to give us more details. Now, Tipping Point will actually be just bringing that anger out of you, because now in Kenya, so many things are happening. And this is the platform where Benedicture Teach and I will be trying to look things as they are. And of course, the theme is speaking the truth without fear. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Breaking Today and Tipping Point. My name is Nick Mudimba. Our sign language interpreter has been Mr. Isia Washira. Have yourself a good night.